The wind howled outside, rattling the windows as I sat alone in the old, decrepit cabin. The trees loomed like silent sentinels, their gnarled branches casting eerie shadows on the walls. I was here on a dare. They said the place was cursed, haunted even. I laughed it off, dismissing it as local folklore. But now, as the night pressed on, doubt clawed at my composure. I tried to shake off the unease, focusing on the feeble glow of my flashlight. The cabin was littered with remnants of its former inhabitants. Dusty books, faded photographs, and a rusted kettle on the stove. I couldn't help but wonder what had driven them away. Suddenly, a creaking floorboard shattered the silence. My heart hammered in my chest, and I snapped the flashlight towards the sound. Nothing. Just the empty hallway, swallowed by shadows. My breath hitched, but I dismissed it as my imagination. Time seemed to stretch, each minute an eternity. I tried to distract myself with a book I'd found, but the words blurred before my eyes. The air grew colder, and a shiver ran down my spine. I knew then that I wasn't alone. A whisper, barely audible, slithered through the room. "Leave," it hissed, a spectral breath against my ear. I spun around, heart pounding. The beam of my flashlight danced wildly, revealing nothing but empty space. Panic set in, and I stumbled back, colliding with a rickety table. The flickering light caught a faded photograph, revealing the faces of a family long gone. Their eyes seemed to follow me, filled with a silent plea. A sudden gust of wind extinguished my flashlight, plunging me into suffocating darkness. Fear clawed at my throat as I fumbled for the spare batteries in my pocket. With trembling hands, I managed to replace them, the feeble light pushing back the shadows once more. That's when I saw her, a young girl, her tattered nightgown flowing like mist. Her eyes were empty voids, staring through me. I tried to speak, but no words came. She raised a spectral hand, beckoning me towards the hallway. I should have run, should have fled that wretched place, but morbid curiosity held me captive. I followed the girl, my steps echoing through the desolate cabin. She led me to a door at the end of the hall, the wood warped with age. As the door creaked open, a putrid smell filled the air. My stomach churned, and bile rose in my throat. The room was a macabre tableau, decaying furniture, cobweb-covered toys, and a rusted crib in the corner. Dread settled heavy in my chest. In the crib, something moved, a dark, amorphous shape. With trembling hands, I reached in, my fingers brushing against cold, clammy flesh. It let out a guttural moan, and I recoiled in horror. It was a baby, but not as any I'd ever seen. Its eyes were soulless voids, mirroring the girl's, and its skin was pallid and mottled. It should not have been alive, yet it writhed and whimpered in my arms. I stumbled back, heart pounding. The girl's voice pierced the air, a haunting melody of sorrow. "Save him," she pleaded, her voice echoing in the room. I turned to her, desperate for answers, but she was gone, swallowed by the darkness. With the abomination in my arms, I fled the cabin, the night air biting at my skin. I stumbled through the woods, driven by terror and the chilling cries of the child. It was only when I emerged from the trees that I realized the cabin had vanished, leaving nothing but an empty clearing. I never spoke of that night, for who would believe the horrors I had witnessed? The child is gone now, but its haunting cries still echo in my dreams. And I know, deep down, that the cabin and its tragic inhabitants are bound by a darkness that should never have been disturbed.